Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I am Jeff Schmitt. I am the Assistant Dean for Graduate Programs over at the University of Dayton School of Law. I have been teaching in the program since its inception at the University of Dayton. It used to be a live program where I would fly over to Seoul and spend a month or two teaching classes in the winter and the summer. Now it's a fully online program. Since COVID and the regulation change at Washington, D.C., we've been doing it online, as I'm sure you know. And I thought that I could introduce this program, just talk about it at a high level of generality, and then give you a little bit of an idea of what the classes themselves would look like by jumping into a lesson. So I know that Jeffrey probably covered a lot of this, and you already have a lot of this information, but I would like to go over this quickly. So the non-degree program, I think, is a fantastic program that offers you an opportunity to take a number of courses, get a good crash course in U.S. law, meet the requirements for the bar exam, all without leaving your home at a relatively affordable cost. So they're real-time online Zoom classes with full-time faculty here at the University of Dayton. So it's not as though these are pre-recorded lectures you're watching. Yes, there are some of those, but the majority of the class time is spent on Zoom interacting with the professor. There are opportunities for feedback as we're going through this. That's one of the great things about using Zoom is in real time, I can ask multiple choice questions, we can have practice essays, and really work on those key bar tested subjects and issues. I think the schedule, I hope the schedule is convenient for you. We've designed the program so that if you have a full-time job, you can take the classes because they're offered in the evening during the weekdays. And then there's a session on Saturday morning as well. But the schedule is built around the working professional in mind. As I know, Mr. Kim was just explaining, it satisfies the U.S. legal education requirements for the DC bar exam, which means that, of course, the DC bar exam, if you want to be a U.S. lawyer, you have to take the bar exam in a U.S. jurisdiction. There are 51 different jurisdictions, one for each state, and then Washington, D.C. has its own bar exam. And for the DC bar exam, you have to have a first degree in law, which means you need a legal degree from Korea. Now, if you would like to speak more about that, just let me know. You can always send me an email. I'd be happy to talk to you about what their requirements are. But you need a first degree in law from Korea or a foreign institution. Then when you take our program, this non-degree program, that would satisfy the U.S. legal education requirements. We also offer a certificate in U.S. legal studies if you hit a 3.0 GPA in the program, which is most of our students are doing, not everyone, of course, but most of the students are doing. You would earn a certificate in U.S. legal studies. That's a nice fancy piece of paper that looks like a diploma, but it's not a degree, obviously, something you could frame and put on your wall. And you get credit towards an LLM degree. So once you take this program, the 26 credits, you would only need to take 2 additional courses to earn the LLM degree, the Master in Laws at the University of Dayton. Now, those 2 additional courses are courses you can take online. Again, you wouldn't need to leave where you're at. You wouldn't need to fly out to the US and live here for any period of time to get the LLM degree. So I think that's another big benefit of the program. Excuse me. In teaching this class, the pedagogy here is that it is primarily lecture because we have a huge amount of material to cover in a very short period of time. And I realize that most of the students are working, they don't have time to read the cases in the same level of detail as our US JD students. So for the most part, what I'm doing, and I'm going to run through an example of this for you, I'll do a lecture on the rules, the law, the background, the history, the theory, all of the main concepts you need to know. Then we'll run through some cases as sort of detailed examples and hypotheticals as to how the law applies, how the court actually applies the law in the real world. Then we'll move on to hypotheticals that are like multiple choice questions. And I'll ask you to do those in class. You'll type into the chat box what you think your answer is, and then usually the people coalesce around one or two possible potential answers, and then we'll discuss which answer makes the most sense. At the end of each unit, I then have a practice essay. And what I would like to do is give you feedback on those essays. So at the end of each unit, that means fairly frequently. Usually I have 3 or 4 practice essays per course. I'm asking you to do a bar style essay, and I don't require you to turn them into me. It's not part of your final grade. But for attendance purposes, I do ask that you submit at least 1 essay, and I try to give feedback, individualized feedback on each of those essays. Occasionally, we also do Mpt Exams, which of course is part of the UBE, the Uniform Bar Exam, on the topic we're covering in that course. Our curriculum is that for the winter, this coming winter semester, we offer criminal law, criminal procedure, and evidence. And in the summer, we offer contracts, constitutional law, civil procedure, torts, and property. That little number in parentheses is the number of credits associated with each course. And if you do the math, that should add up to 26 credits, which is the requirement for Washington, D.C., that you get 26 credits. And you'll also notice that each of these are the courses that are double tested on the bar exam. They're tested on the MBE, the multiple choice or the multi-state bar exam, in both the multiple choice questions. These are the subjects for multiple choice, and they're often essay questions as well, though there are other subjects that are tested on the essay portion of the bar exam. So what that means is this program, I think, is going to give you a great background in what you need to know for the main subjects on the bar exam. It's not everything, though. I always try to caution students, it's not enough to just take this program and then go sit for the bar exam. You need to do extra studying outside of that. You need to take a bar review course with an outside vendor and study this in even more detail, these subjects, and some additional subjects that are not covered in our curriculum.